Hello and good morning, everybody. Are you all feeling great today? Excellent. So am I. My name is Geraldine de Bastian, and this is my second day hosting the Neonate Fashion Sustain stage for you. It's fantastic to see you all back here today. And again, as I said yesterday, what a beautiful setting. We couldn't have wished for a better one with our motto in the air this year, looking out onto this airfield. And I don't want to keep you with me too long, maybe just a couple of points of housekeeping. We've got a really diverse program for you today. We're going to be talking about recycling in our first panel that's coming up very soon. We are also going to be looking at denim with a feature and a sort of deep dive on that. And we also have a panel on virtualization coming up this afternoon in partnership with Republica. So what happens when fashion increasingly becomes non-materialistic and virtual. But we're really happy to be kicking off the day today with Ina Budde. If you've been to previous Neonate's Fashion Sustain sessions before, then you might know Ina because she's been on our panels, as she is an expert on circular fashion and advises many organizations, companies on how they can make their businesses truly circular. So please welcome her with her talk, Future Infrastructures for Circularity.
Thank you. Hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome also from my side. Thanks for taking the time coming up here all the way. My name is Ina, and I'm one of the founders of Circular Fashion. And I want to invite you to a perspective on future infrastructures for circularity. Some key facts for you today. I'm one of the founders of this company, and we have developed a software platform and a partner network to enable circular design and closed-loop recycling. And today, I want to focus on the second part, on like how do we can implement infrastructures for closed-loop recycling. We're very happy to see that there's a great momentum for this topic in the industry. We see 12% of the global fashion market has committed to become circular or to take the first steps until or by 2020, which is today. So it's great to take a look actually on how far we have come and what is the status today and what we also need to drive forward to actually make it happen. So today we have 100 billion garments that are produced yearly. And of this number, 87% is incinerated or landfilled. And this refers to textiles during production, also textiles that once have been returned actually and reused, but in the end ended up in incineration or landfill. There is, of course, recycling. Today, 12% is recycled, but this refers more to mechanical recycling, which is oftentimes rather a downcycling. So the fibers get shredded, they get shorter, and they're not really usable for fashion in many times again. In the past years, fortunately, there were great recycling opportunities developed, such as from our friends Renewcell, who will be on stage very shortly. Chemical closed-loop recycling that allows to regenerate fibers to the same quality again. But today, it's still less than 1% of all textiles that are regenerated that way today. But why is that? We all see it's possible, we all want it, but it's not happening yet at major scale. So what are the actions and the infrastructures needed to accelerate this and to increase this number and to really make these great innovations come to scale? So first of all, fashion must be designed for circularity. So designers need to be informed on the recycling requirements and specifications to really make clever decisions in design about what material combinations to take, what dye styles, what finishes. So really making clever decisions from the very beginning. And the second point is we need to engage your consumers, us consumers, to really reuse clothing and to return them into the right channels for recycling. That's the second big step. And then last but not least, making, like once the garment has come to a sorting company, we need to make them aware about the information of the material composition so they can direct it to the best recycler. We think that we need a coherent system here. If one step fails, the whole mission fails. So what we have been developing in the past years is the circular fashion system that on the one hand looks into how to support fashion brands with design tools and a software to really develop the products accordingly for recycling, and then equipping them with the Circularity ID, which is basically an information carrier that can inform the reverse supply chain of consumers, of sorters and recycling companies about the material composition of it, and thereby create a closed loop. But let's take a look on the infrastructures of this and what are basically the key drivers to make this happen. Today, the reverse supply chain, I think you probably know, but just to take everyone on the same page, we start in the use phase and collecting, sorting for reuse or recycling, to put it very simple. Of course, there is happening a lot of things more, but just this we will look today. So regarding the production today, we have 100 billion garments, and how much of this is collected actually? Globally, we have 20% collection rate. Europe-wide, we have even 30%, and in some countries, it's even higher. So, for example, Germany, it's a 75% today. But this will not stay like that. We see that there is clothing sales increasing. So, in the last 2 decades, since 2000, we have a 50% clothing sales increase, while at the same time, we have 1/3 less clothing utilization. And then also great legislations have been created. So the Circular Economy Package in 2025 is coming and will obligate all European countries to have a separate collection stream for textiles. So we will see, again, increased collection rate there. So this might mean, and these are just projections from experts, today we have 100 billion garments produced, and in some decades it might go up to 300 billion. Also the collection rate, today we're speaking about 30% in Europe. This is quite realistic, going up to around about 50%. So this means we need more capacity for sorting and recycling. And do we have this capacity at all? Today, the success criteria for sorting and generally the reverse supply chain is to really have an increased collection rate, which will come. But also, and more important, we need to find the most valuable second-hand pieces as quick as possible. And also, right now, this is status quo, keep the efforts for recycling low, because currently, as I've showed, is mainly the downcycling and not so valuable. But the share of second-hand is decreasing, from in the past around about 65% over to today 54%, and in the future up to or down to 40%. And this is mainly due to the decreased textile quality as well, due to fast fashion and things like that. But also the second-hand markets are saturated. This means the share of recycling is subsequently rising from in the past 35% to today 38% and up to 50% in the near future or the next decades. But this at the same time, while recycling is still like a zero or loss business for sorting companies, and also like mainly for the downcycling, of course, today. This is all the status quo. So the business model is challenged. And also we saw in the very beginning, there are great levers for improving sorting, but also towards a circular economy, obviously. So one big lever is, of course, to open up more valuable fractions for recycling, speaking about the chemical closed loop recycling. And also improving sorting quality for re-commerce and secondhand. A lot of brands are interested in taking back their own clothes and reselling them. The whole re-commerce topic has become so big. So how can we actually use this? Because today, it's very difficult to achieve with the manual sorting that is there today. So you see a picture over here. And there is actually, I think, two women in there, hardly possible to see, but they're doing the whole work by hand and trying really to find out what is the material composition. What is the brand? What is it a trend piece? Like, and how can we recycle this? Who would be the best recycler for this? And that's actually, we need more information on fiber and also on product level to really make this happen. So at this point, you might think, how is this relevant to me as a fashion brand, as a designer, or as someone who really wants to drive forward the circular economy? Well, it is very relevant if you want to actually be able to purchase also recycled fibers at scale that is available, that is basically competing in price and in quality. We need to make our, let's say, our decisions and our actions so that, for example, the sorting business and recycling business can also do their work accordingly. And also, if you're interested in buying back your old clothes, let's say your own brand's clothes, and make a brand-owned second-hand store, for example, the sorting companies can support you really well with that, if you also take your actions for this. And for this, we have something developed, which is the world's first holistic infrastructure for circularity in fashion, which we're very happy to launch today, also later in our masterclass, even more detailed. But basically, it is building on to this circular fashion system that I've presented, but it really focuses on the infrastructures and on the little piece in the middle, the Circularity ID. So what we have developed is an open data standard for circularity that is basically has different components. So on the one hand, we have an information carrier that really holds the information. But more important, we've, of course, not done this on our own. This was really research in a collaboration with the industry, as you see many partners here on the slide. So the most innovative recyclers, the most innovative sorting companies, also material suppliers, fashion brands, and also initiatives that supported us on the way, like Zalando, Fashion for Good, and the Global Change Award. They have contributed and gave us feedback on how such a data standard should actually look like, and what needs to be in there, and how is this also relevant for them. So, as I said, it is an information carrier in the garment. It has a data standard, which means what kind of information is saved in which format. And then we have developed connected tools to that can be used with this Circularity ID. So first of all, our circular design software helps to actually save the information in the right format. So if you as a fashion brand are interested in really creating circular products, you can find information here about really tested circular textiles and trims, but also design guidelines on like how to create a full garment in a circular way. And finally, a circular product check declares with which kind of recycler this garment can be recycled. And all these information are saved on the product identifier, which is in the garment, a scannable label. You can also actually create your own IDs, because we have opened this up as an open source software. Like the creation of the ID is possible also on your own. But I think this software also helps you to do it in a really recyclable way. The second step is then to take the Circularity ID as consumer interface. So if you're integrating this scannable label into your garments, consumers can scan it, and they see, on the one hand, transparently how have you produced the garment, but also how they can reuse it and return it for recycling. And the third step, and the last step, is that we've created connected services for the reverse supply chain for sorting companies. So the ID has a sorting interface and can thereby really help the sorting companies to see to which recycler does this garment need to go. So it can be a new fiber in the end. So one of the partnerships we are also happy to announce today is with TaxAid, a very innovative sorting company here in Europe. And they also have great services for fashion brands, for example, the re-commerce service. So they can basically pick up your own brand's clothes and bring them back to you, or sell them via their own platform and give you a share of that. So also very much important, the partnerships for fiber-to-fiber recycling, because in the end, these clothes can go to our friends from RenewCell, for example, and they can make a fully new fiber of virgin quality again. So if you're curious to actually use more of recycled textiles in your future products, there are a lot of connected solutions for you here, and also a lot of partners here today where you can just interact with and engage. So Thank you very much for your attention, and I would like to warmly invite you to our masterclass as well at 1 p.m. over there in the forum, because there you will meet these partners as well. Renewcell, TaxAid, and also H&M will be there on stage. So yeah, we will be sharing a demo of this, so it will be probably very exciting to come by. Thank you very much.